The very essence of thousands of women was forged in the fire of healing from betrayal, healing from trauma. Whatever changes us so much that we have to fight to overcome, to rediscover our female superpowers, is trauma. And there are as many forms of trauma as there are women. Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Pam. Today's topic is hyperindependence. Hyperindependence is said to have been born from an abusive childhood with toxic, abusive, immature caregivers, be it a guardian, a parent, two parents. When I was just before I graduated from high school in the mid to late 70s, my childhood became it became riddled with abuse, physical, emotional, mental, even spiritual at times. I was slapped across the face, beaten physically, upstairs in my own room on my own bed. I was humiliated into submission, verbally and physically. I was called names, and that was just from my parents. So I was on Instagram about 8 months ago, and I saw these two posts. And one of them, and they both had the word hyperindependence on top of the post. And I'm going to show them to you now. I did a voiceover explaining what it is. And of course, Instagram has some really good information on it, but it's social media. So we don't ever want to take it for face value. So I researched this, and it looks like these two posts actually were very accurate in describing this concept of hyperindependence. So after this segment with my voiceover and showing you the two posts with a pretty good depiction of what hyperindependence is, I'll come back to the video. The first time I ever saw the word hyperindependence was in this post on your screen now. And the second thing I noticed about this after I saw the title is the woman in the middle. I noticed that she looked very confident. She has on a suit. She has her hands crossed, but she also has a slight smile on her face. So I thought that maybe hyperindependence was a positive thing. Then I read the text around her, and the only one that I can see as being positive or written in a positive way is a strong need for personal autonomy. We all have a strong need for personal autonomy. So let me read the other ones. Difficulty in asking for help or support. Preference to be alone leading to isolation. Well, back to strong autonomy, need for personal autonomy. If you have a preference to be alone, it's not going to lead to isolation. It's when we don't have the preference to be alone and we think of ourselves as being lonely, that leads to a feeling of isolation. Difficulty in trusting others and delegating tasks. Well, we won't delegate tasks to people that we don't feel confident can handle the task. Struggle with emotional intimacy. I think that's everyone on the planet struggles at some time in their life with emotional intimacy. Dismissive of others' emotional needs. That sounds like a narcissist to me. And burnout, stress, and anxiety. We can all experience burnout, stress, and anxiety without being so-called hyper-independent. So I know I sound like I'm anti-hyper-independent already. I'm trying to give this a fair shake. Here's the second post I saw on Instagram. The picture in the middle of the female is very different than the first one we looked at. This one has a sad look on her face. She looks miserable. Her hands are crossed, but not like the woman in the first one where she's standing with dignity and confidence. This one kind of like is sitting in a fetal position, all balled up. Looks really insecure, and she looks younger, almost like she's a little girl. And around her it says, I had to figure everything out on my own. This is very abstract. You don't figure everything out on your own. And at what ages does this take place? Again, these are very They're very broad statements with little explanation. Mistrust in others due to not having my needs met. Yes, a lot of us had parents that could not meet our needs. They couldn't meet their own needs. I had to be strong because I only felt like I could lean on myself. People, this is a superpower. Superpower. Good for you. I did not have a parental figure to rely on. Yeah, a lot of us didn't have parents that we were able to reach out to or to give us support consistently. It was very erratic. It was up and down. It was not consistent. I did not need anybody to help me. Again, I did not need anybody to help me. A very abstract, broad generalization statement. Trouble expressing needs, feelings, and emotions. I think all of us have trouble expressing needs, feelings, and emotions at some point in our life. It doesn't mean that we're hyper independent. And the bottom one says difficulty in asking for help. We'll talk about that in a bit. So obviously it's a different filming day. Independence is a magnificent quality to possess. It's a wonderful state of mind. Its formal definition is free from outside control and not depending on another for livelihood. Personal autonomy runs parallel to independence and is also an amazing quality to possess. It's the ability to use one's own understanding of themselves and how they relate to the world to make choices without direction from others. The invalidator, the weak, the malignant narcissist, and the emotionally and mentally sick do not want women to be independent. They need others, us, to be just as sick as they are, so they can manipulate with their toxic nonsense. In order to keep women dependent on others, hyperindependence was created as a disorder, as something that needs a therapist, a counselor, or a life coach to work through, as something that needs medical professional attention. Nothing could be further from the truth. I'm independent, and this independence was not born out of a childhood where my parents respected me and supported me and validated my likes and dislikes, my dreams for the future, and respected my existence. Far from it. So yes, the trauma of an abusive childhood precipitated recovery and healing for me. And from that, I was able to develop strengths that I may never have had if I did not walk through the hellfires of healing and recovery. I do not comply with malignant narcissists anymore. I do not concede to the emotionally weak anymore. I don't cave or cooperate with invalidators anymore. They need their own healing. Unfortunately, they'll probably never heal because they can't admit that they're toxic. I recently moved and I called movers to take my large items, like my king bed, my entertainment center, and my couches. The definition of hyperindependence would have us believing that I would move those things by myself at the detriment to my safety. I had several boxes to move also, but I moved those on my own. I didn't want to ask people who really didn't want to take time out of their busy lives to help, or to coordinate schedules that did not fit my day. Does that make me hyper independent? No. Sounds like badassery to me. Sounds like a woman who knows what she's capable of. Sounds like the actions of a woman who make the weak and abusive wince because she threatens their imaginary view of themselves as strong and powerful. We've spent so long with toxic people and toxic situations and have gone through the hellfires of healing and recovery that we and all people deserve to love ourselves enough to decide where, when, and how we allow others into our lives. We mold our life into what makes us happy, into what keeps us content, into what brings us peace. And if taking matters into my own hands that others think should be handled differently is labeled with this ridiculous hyperindependence, I don't buy it. I don't recognize it. And I hope you don't recognize it or buy into this either. Strong, independent women will always scare the shit out of weak and feeble-minded people. To label women who have walked through trauma to the other side of healing as hyper-independent is disrespectful of what they went through to develop our emotion, and mental superpowers to be the Sigma females we are. Don't shrink. Shine. Please share this with anyone who you think would benefit from hearing this. And thank you to my subscribers. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so this message gets out and we can continue to heal and recover together. Bye for now.